what happened was after my flight, I landed and two gentlemen came and took me to a side room. And they asked me two kinds of questions, I should say politely, basically. One set of questions had to do with my views on Hamas, on what's going on in Gaza, my ideas about the solution, my attitude towards the slogan, Palestine should be free from the river to the sea, and question of that kind. They refused to tell me why they stopped me. Second set of questions had to do which American Muslims, American Palestinians, Arab Americans do I know, and what is the nature of my relationship with them. And then they took my phone for quite a long time. They had to do some phone calls before they allowed me to enter the United States. My sense is that also from the way the conversation developed between me and the two persons there, it's a new phase in the solidarity movement with the Palestinians. And they built the kind of narrative that says that these students were affected by certain books, by certain professors, by certain historians. So they built a whole kind of an idea that almost people like myself, as part of the sources that led to the students deciding to take a more assertive action on behalf of Palestine. This, of course, is nonsense. The students, like anybody else, saw what's happening in Gaza and decided to do all they can to stop it, something the politicians are not doing. Now, the French publisher, Fayard, was just bought after the 7th of October by a pro-Zionist billionaire. And one of the first actions he did after buying the publishing house was to decide to stop printing my book and disseminating it. It was very clear that there is a connection between what Israel did in 1948 and everything that goes on in Gaza. The fact that these are refugees from 1948, the fact that the Gaza Strip was created as a strip during the Nakba, and the whole new language that we are using. We are understanding the term the ongoing Nakba by the sense that the same ideology that was behind the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians in 1948 is behind the genocide in Gaza today. But luckily I found a new publisher. The decision of Germany and France not to allow the rector of the University of Glasgow, Dr. Hassan Aboussetta, to come and share with Germans and French public what he knows about Gaza at first hand as a surgeon who worked there is another example. And I think this is due to the pressure from Israel on governments, especially in the West, to accept the Israeli demand that there will be no conversation about the context, about what happened on October the 7th. The Israelis wanted the 7th of October to be the only topic of conversation, and definitely what they didn't want and still don't want is to have a discussion about the Israeli reaction to the actions of the 7th of October. Every politician, the beginning, at the middle, at the end of their career, know that they better toe the line or they will become an enemy of a very powerful lobby. So I think that this is another phase in the history of the lobbies, but this time they're not facing politicians on Capitol Hill. They're facing academics, they're facing students, they're facing activists who are much less susceptible to be intimidated as politicians would be. And we are not afraid of them. And we are not intimidated by them. And that drives them mad. I think, and that's why they're using everything in their ammunition to silence us.
Ghana troops search for Arabs after capturing the city.
I always say that in 1948 you could have easily hide what happened in Palestine during the Nakba. There was no television, no internet, no computers. But you cannot do it today. And even before the 7th of October, anybody who visited the West Bank knew exactly what occupation and colonization and dehumanization means and would react to this. And not because they were indoctrinated or someone educated them, but because they were, basic human beings who decided not to be silent in the face of the injustices that they have witnessed themselves.